Right here is called a stake table. Underneath hanging we have several stakes. So these are heavy, they're metal. If you drop this on your toe, it is going to hurt. They fit in several places. We can move them around. After we've been hammering on these for a class period, they tend to stick. Easy to get out. Take a hammer and gently tap until they pop loose. Hang them back up. Put them away. So we've got 3 different stakes. We're going to use a square one, and I'm going to set my box on here. If I slide it over there nice and tight, I can hammer the tabs down. So they're nice and tight. Still not going to worry about this very much until we punch the holes. So for hole punching, let's show you that next. Alright, so this is a hand punch. It's got a punch in the top and a die in the bottom. This piece right here tends to get loose and kind of falls down. So if you try and use this and it just bends or it doesn't do anything, it's because this piece needs to be screwed in just a little tighter. There is a very strong potential of mashing your fingers in there. So I've got a little underneath in the cabinet. There should be some of these square tubes which we can clamp in our vise, and I can slide that handle in just like that. So that's going to kind of act as a third hand for us, and when we do this we want to be careful again that our knuckles don't get bashed right there. So when we get it all set up, I'm going to open my hands and just push. Alright, so we're not going to measure and mark where these holes go, just try and get it centered on the tab. But you do, when you punch, you want to squeeze this together so those holes will line up and it will make it nice and tight. So I'm going to lift this up, slide that in there, get her where I want it to go, and squeezing it together. Alright, so now again I've got my fingers out of the way. Oh, and it did not go all the way through. It's almost like I planned that. You can see it dented it, but it did not go all the way through. So I need to screw that piece up. We're going to try this again. Get it lined up. Let's see if I can hit my same hole. That's the tricky part. Okay. And now, you might think it's stuck. What you really just need to do is pull the handle all the way up. And there's our first hole. You'll notice it doesn't line up, but if I squeeze it together, it lines up perfectly. Do that 3 more times. There she is, all ready for rivets. After you've got all 4 of your holes punched, you're going to bring this up to me. Just show it to me. I want to just make sure you got your holes punched. Everything's looking okay at this point. I will give you 4 rivets. We're not doing clecos with this. You'll bring the rivets in your box back out here, get the rivet gun, load the rivet, and again, it doesn't look like that lines up, but if I squeeze it, I should be able to get that in there just fine. And rivet. And there it is. Dunzo. All we have to do is clean it up and get it ready for grading. Same way, we've got 4 corners on the top and 4 corners on the bottom. We'll file those just a little bit, make sure there's no sharp edges. Stamp your initials in it somewhere. Don't overdo it or you're going to end up with a big old bulge. Just lightly stamp your initials in there. The rubric is attached in our classroom. Use the rubric and grade it. When you've got that already, you can bring it up to me and we'll look it over. So a couple of things I'm looking for. Corners, do these sides all match? Did we bend accurately? Are our measurements accurate? Did we get these sides pulled in nice and tight? Does everything look square? If I look at it this way, do we have any sides that are twisted? Are the rivets tight? Did we get all 4 rivets tight? No extra dents or anything like that. So check out the rubric, give it a grade, bring it up, and we're done with this project.